Is this year different with the cost of living crisis?
Well, actually, it is different, but in a positive way. What we're seeing is the consumers have had this pent-up sort of shopping listing, wanting to shop big this weekend. So we're expecting Australians to spend $6.36 billion this weekend, mostly driven because of the cost of living crisis, people wanting to make their shopping dollar go further. So we expect it to be the biggest on record.
Does that mean a quieter Christmas then?
Prior to Christmas. So if you look at the overall numbers for Christmas, we're expecting Australians to spend $67.1 billion, marginally up on last year. So in fact, if you're taking a sort of business perspective to this, it's more than likely we're bringing sales forward into November. And as a result, overall Christmas spending, we're not that positive about.
And retailers' behaviours are changing too, right? It feels like every year my inbox is, filling up earlier and earlier, well ahead of actual Black Friday.
Yes. Yes, because what we saw this year is that in fact many retailers' discretionary spend has slowed down, and many retailers have responded to lure shoppers, and they've kicked their Black Friday sales off as early as up to 2 weeks before Black Friday. So although today, albeit being Black Friday here in Australia, this is the official start of the promotion.
What are we seeing, or what data do you have when it comes to spending patterns on, big ticket items, gift cards? We know that in the US this year has been very heavily into spending for gift cards this holidays.
Gift cards are probably the best sustainable gift you can buy, because it means that the purchaser can buy exactly what they want, unlike when the gift ends up in landfill, which is something we've been really promoting. Gift cards tend to be a last-minute purchase, predominantly done in that last week going into that Christmas week trading. So what we're seeing this weekend will be more around getting snagging that deal. Discounts are, on average around 30%, but we've seen retailers go up to 50, 70% discounts. They're really trying to drive sales. Now the big question will be profitability, of course. So what we see,
what are margins looking like?
What are the margins going to look like? So that'll be the big questions if you're analysing sort of retail performance. But retailers have got no choice. If they're not getting customers through the door, they need to discount, and they've come off 2 years of record Christmas trading through COVID, and now we're seeing such a slowdown in discretionary spend, they're having to discount more to drive sales.
Paul, it's Yvonne in Hong Kong. I mean, you used to head David Jones, so I'm sure you know exactly what these retailers are thinking right now. I mean, there is an opportunity cost, obviously, because, yes, in some ways, they're giving away some of the profits that they may have captured during Christmas. But then again, it's something, now Black Friday is something that, they can't afford not to take part of, right? I mean, this is an event that's bigger than even Boxing Day sales now.
Absolutely. Look, it's a global event. So the reality is if Australia didn't participate, people will shop online offshore and actually get those deals. So really important that Australian retail, and we're seeing it'd be easier for me to comment on the retailers that are not participating, because this year we've seen the majority of retailers participate in the Black Friday event. Now they need to sell high volume to make up for the margin differential, and that's what we expect to see. So all in all, discount will be rife over this weekend to drive sales. Profitability will be the big question as they get into this the next 4 weeks of trade.
Who are going to be the winners of Black Friday then?
Look, I think those that have participated would be winners, because we've seen, particularly in the higher margin categories, where they're probably better to take a smaller discount now rather than a bigger discount at Boxing Day, and that's the reality. It's very two different mindsets from a consumer point of view. People shopping through Black Friday are generally shopping for others to get their gift lists completed. Those shopping on Boxing Day are generally shopping for themselves and for their households. Remember, Boxing Day is really a clearance event to get through the last season's merchandise, get through Christmas gifting that didn't sell, and they're heavily discounted. So the mindset is to get those mathematics right, to make sure that you don't give margin away, but equally that you're trading at your full potential.
Is there data that tells you what next year is going to be like in terms of concern of that pain point for households? Because we're starting to see, both in the US and here, that it's not just low-income families now that are tightening, their finances. It's also by most criteria, considered wealthier families.
Our forecast really that we don't see any respite really till at least next year, probably the middle of next year if we're fortunate enough. Fiscal 2025 will be a lot better environment for retailers, but the reality is it'll be battened down the hatches post-Christmas. Now, Christmas is a really important trading period for retailers, for discretionary retailers. It makes up to 2/3 of their profits, and often for a small business owner, it's what sustains them through the winter trading months. So if they don't get the Christmas trading right, it's unlikely they'll be trading in the winter season.
Yvonne asked about the winners. Who's feeling the most pain in the retail sector?
At the moment, household goods. So if you're in household goods, and the reason being is because household goods had 2 phenomenal years through COVID, because we're all stuck at home in lockdown, we're all renovating, redecorating our homes, and they've got a higher sales base. But household goods have been particularly doing it tough. There's been a slowdown now for at least 6 months, and there's no propensity now with discretionary retailing tightening up. They're feeling it the most.
Does Boxing Day, it feels like as the years have gone past, has become less relevant?
No, it's still a major promotion. It's still the biggest, one of the biggest events in the year. It's the biggest post-Christmas event. Black Friday is the biggest pre-Christmas event, and as I explained, the different consumer mindset plays into mind here. So there's a place for both. What we didn't, as retailers, don't really like to discount before Christmas. It used to be the only full-priced event that we ran. It's no longer, unfortunately, and to drive revenue, to lure customers, discounting has been part of it. But expect after this Black Friday weekend, prices will be back on the rise as retailers will have less need to discount. They're looking at trying to bank as much as they can this time of the year and before the next RBA interest rate, potentially.